I am here to discuss fixing an exposure of a photo. This is backlit. Faces are dark. Couple of ways of doing this pretty quick. I could do the Control L, Command L. I can pull this over here and it brings in more detail, and this is actually a satisfactory result here. I'm going to hit the cancel at this point. I want to talk about working with layers. You might want to keep the exposure of the background here. You could select the foreground, and you can do this in different steps here if you have different parts over, underexposed here. What I'm going to use is the quick selection tool. This is available in any version after version 5 with Photoshop, and the newer versions, I think it began with 8 in Elements. I just click in here, and since it's a good contrast, it picks up everything right there. And I could do this as another area. I tend to do things separately here. Other thing that I do, I'm going to float this to a new layer, Control J or Command J, and you can see that looks pretty good. There's a little bit of stuff there you can erase if you need to. But I'm just going to go into here, and I'm going to do the Command L. I'm going to lighten it a bit. A little bit too light. And what I typically do, I pull this over just a tad. So it looks better. I hit the preview. Looks good. Now I want to do the kid. Again, I'm in the quick selection tool. Down. And I don't want this bar here. And if I go up here, it shows a subtract here. I could just pull this in. Because of the contrast here, it works terrifically. I go over here. I've removed that. Again, I'm going to float it to a new layer. I could do a right click, and I think you know what I'm saying, to float it when I'm in here, okay? And then I just go over here, pull it in, pull it out. Just darken it a little bit there. I say okay. This looks pretty natural. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show these top 2 layers here. This is it now. You've got what you would call an acceptable shot. I would say if you are doing the photo, you might want a meter because most of the cameras go into the middle. Just slide over, hold it down gently in here. It will go and then move it to the left. It will meter off of that. And you could also do something with the background. I could lighten that, darken it. You can make it. And if I did this here dramatically, you can see how little pieces of the bodies are showing up there. But it kind of blends in pretty good. You could lighten that a little bit if you want. Some people might like that effect here, but when you get it too light, you can see the roughness, especially in the boy's face. So I'll just keep it back here. Other thing I will say, a lot of this is personal preference.